Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Tonight we're back here with Green Scorpion with the top 10 video game bombardiers, aka bomb users. So you might want to be careful when they're throwing them, because you're gonna get blown to bits. So let's see who handles explosives the best. So be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. This should be fun. Here we go. On the way.
Hello everyone, the Green Scorpion here, and with Weapons Month 2 entering its 4th week, it's time to ramp it up. Explosives. I love them, you love them, and the following 10 characters love them. Much different than swinging something or shooting something, explosives cause massive destruction in a large area. And no matter how advanced video games get, we will never be too old to enjoy blowing stuff up. The study of explosives dates back to the use of black powder in the pre-17th century, which was used to power cannons and firearms. Ever since English leather merchant William Bickford invented the safety fuse in 1831, grenades, TNT, nitroglycerin, and more have been tools for demolition, mining, and of course, battle. Characters who dedicate their time to bombs are especially committed, as any slip-up can lead to certain death. Whether they're carefully timed or on a short fuse, whether they're making cartoony smoke effects or leveling buildings, if you use bombs, you are sacrificing finesse and precision for absolute mayhem. It takes a certain patience to handle such delicate chemistry, and usually some degree of insanity to actually go through with using them. Expect some pretty chemically imbalanced practitioners to appear on this list. So put on your hard hats and get behind something. This is the top 10 greatest video game bombardiers. As usual, only games I've played, and only one per franchise. Let's light her up.
Wonder who's first. Nixie. There it goes. Oh. He always tells love his bombs. So.
No, not you again. Link has already gotten honors in sword wielders and archers. He can't do triple duty. I mean, these lists are supposed to be about people who specialize in a chosen weapon. Sure, he's been setting explosives for 15 games, sure he uses them for both puzzle solving and for fighting, and sure he has a wide variety of techniques and variations, blowing up walls, inserting them into boxes, bowling with them. Then there's the moving bomb chews, the wall-crawling spider bombs, underwater bombs, the screen-clearing super bombs from Four Swords Adventures, the bomb arrows from Twilight Princess, cannons on boats and trains, the powder keg from Majora's Mask.
You wanna give up?
Crap, he's a freaking demolitionist! And he has been since the 1980s. It's no wonder he bears a Triforce of Courage. He would have to be brave to keep all that gunpowder in his pack next to the lantern and the fire rod.
I guess just a short one for here. Oh, Portal 2, huh? What do you got?
Most test subjects do experience some cognitive deterioration after a few months in suspension. Now, you've been under for quite a lot longer, and it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
I bet you didn't expect this guy to be on the list, but to me he's more than qualified. As inept as he is, he has an involuntary knack for destruction and a 4-part plan for victory.
1. No portal surfaces. 2. Start the neurotoxin immediately. 3. Bomb-proof shields. 4B. Leading directly onto number 4. Bomb. Throwing it.
Wheatley is actually a personality core built for GLaDOS, designed to be a complete idiot so that he balances out GLaDOS' dangerous intellect. When he's on his own, however, he's just a funny, well-meaning computer. At the beginning of Portal 2,
until you give him absolute power and he becomes an asshole.
Halfway through the game, he gets in charge of the facility, gains absolute control over Aperture Labs, and goes mad with power, imprisoning you for more tests and eventually trying to kill you. Am I the only one who really feels bad for this guy? I mean, sure, he gets kind of evil, but that's not really his fault. It's not his fault that he's stupid. He was programmed by top scientists to be that way, and he's sick of it. When he's hooked onto the core, it turns out to be too much for him. I mean, GLaDOS is actually kind of helpful when she's traveling with you. Maybe the lesson here is that power corrupts and Wheatley is just a slave to his emotions. He wants to prove that he is capable of something more, and he just isn't, so of course that makes him frustrated. So much that he nearly blows up the entire facility without really trying. He can't create puzzles or turrets or traps like GLaDOS can, and every time he tries, they're failures or rejects. The only thing he's good at is wrecking things. And at the end of the game, he really sincerely is sorry for what he did under the influence of Central Control. Despite his bumbling, he still has some pretty brilliant moments. His plan was pretty good with the blast shields as a failsafe and the bombs for throwing. Things just don't go as he planned. He even had a backup step 5, booby-trapping the final button Shell has to hit with more explosives. That's pretty smart on his part. Like the GLaDOS fight in Portal 1, the fight with Wheatley is very well done, and listening to the computer grow more and more insane is both dramatic and hilarious. To paraphrase Shakespeare, some are born great bombers, and some just have great bombing thrust upon them.
You know, if I was ever to see her again, do you know what I'd say?
I'm in space.
I'd say, I'm sorry. Sincerely. I am sorry I was bossy and monstrous. And
Again, Central Unit.
I am genuinely sorry.
I'm in space.
The end.
It's okay, Wheatley. I forgive you.
Oh, that's gonna last. Number 8.
Solid Snake is the greatest soldier there is, and he's got a multitude of explosives. But for the number 8 spot, we look at someone with an unsettling love for volatile ballistics. Fat Man, explosives expert of the Dead Cell.
Sons of Liberty.
As a child, Fat Man had a love of combustion. And not just illegal fireworks. He built an atomic bomb at the age of 10 using only a guide he got off the internet. Yeah, that's scary. He then joined Dead Cell with his new codename after the atomic bomb that destroyed Nagasaki in World War II.
Little boy Fat Man.
He's not even as fat as he looks, actually. That's a blast-proof suit he's wearing, and the extra girth comes from a cooling system padded underneath, which allows him to wear it for long periods of time without overheating. Fat Man is not only an expert at designing bombs, but placing them. During the takeover of the Big Shell facility, Fat Man sets up C4s at several locations, and Raiden is forced to call in Peter Stillman, a bomb disposal expert and Fat Man's former mentor. I really love the battle of wits between Fat Man and Stillman. It plays out like a chess match. Fat Man places several C4s as distractions for Raiden to defuse, while the big ones at the facility's core are less detectable and go unnoticed. Fat Man finally catches Stillman in a trap and blows him up. He's insanely devoted to his chosen art form, so much that it jeopardizes his teammates' safety on several occasions. Raiden finally confronts him face to face on a rooftop where he fights by inline skating? Well anyway, Raiden disarms C4s while Fat Man skates after him with a Glock 18. That Glock is actually the only thing keeping him this low, since when you fight him, he actually doesn't wield the bombs. He just has them planted as part of the battlefield conditions. Kind of like Bongo Bongo in the Musician Fighters list.
Oh yeah,
He's crazy, talented, and creepishly devoted, but it only gets madder from here.
Honestly, I think I would have made sure to at least check out the vetting process when these guys. I'm surprised his teammates didn't try to kill him. Like seriously, multiple times, nearly killed them. I would have been like, "Yep, you're done." I don't know, just odd. Yeah. Anyway, moving along. Number 7, please.
Before we get into the real loonies, though, here's a surprisingly sane person who can literally blow up on you at any moment. Admiral Bobry from Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is one of Mario's 7 partners. I always like Bob-ombs in the Mario universe, their little eyes, the sound they make, and their odd little contention with their short, violent lives. Like Bombette from the first Paper Mario, Bobry can self-destruct, sending himself skyrocketing but then landing on the ground completely unharmed. Well, maybe he's a little harmed, but he doesn't lose HP and that's what's important. Mario can use this to both blow away walls and dungeons and to battle the forces of Grotus. Bobry also turned out to be one of the more compelling new characters of the game. He is the greatest sailor of all of Rogueport and spent his life on the sea, but wasn't around when his beloved wife passed away due to sickness. Blaming himself, Bobry refuses to leave land again and wallows in self-pity until Mario can whip him into shape, needing someone to sail him to Keelhaul Key to collect the 5th Crystal Star. Despite being a highly unstable bag of nitro, he actually is the most mature and level-headed of Mario's group, though his age makes him stubborn at times. In battle, Bobbery has 4 attacks at his disposal. Bomb allows Bobbery to blow up, damaging an opponent. Bomb Squad actually fires 3 small-time bombs. Hold Fast puts Bobbery in a defensive stance to detonate when enemies attack him, and Bombast hits all enemies. With a tragic backstory and well-controlled explosive power, this salty sea dog is the least insane on this countdown, but very worthy of the number 7 spot.
Definitely lives up to the bomb name, though. Glad he is not blowing us up, though. Next.
What's happening?
I've been talking about Warcraft this month much more than I expected. I'm not really the biggest Warcraft fan, but I had to say something about the Goblins of Azeroth. A once neutral race now aligned with the Horde, Goblins are far more technically advanced than any other race, and thus we have the Goblin Sappers. At least that's what they were called in Warcraft 3, but as usual, my favorite iteration came from Defense of the Ancients. Here, they are known as the Goblin Techies, a trio by the names of Squee, Spleen, and Spoon.
Spoon! I don't get it.
And let's just say this. Goblins are very open to the concept of martyrdom. Playing the Goblin Techies is a thrill. Laning against them is a nightmare since they specialize in putting invisible explosives all over the place. Landmines go off when people step on them, simple enough. Stasis traps are invisible and detonate when an enemy is near, stunning them for a moment. This gives the Techies just enough time to plant and detonate another mine right below their feet. The Goblins may have low defenses, but you probably shouldn't just attack them head on. At any point, they can activate Suicide Squad Attack, blowing up and robbing you of the gold for killing them, and probably taking you down with them. Which is a pain considering that their basic attack, these little rockets, are ranged. So no matter where you stand, you're right where the Goblins want you. Their most damaging equipment are remote mines, which they can detonate from anywhere. The player has to be watching, but if he hits the right button at the right time, the enemy is blown sky high. Is an enemy standing just next to one? No sweat, just buy the item Force Staff, which lets you push them a couple of feet right on top of your instrument of destruction. And all the while, the Goblins' quips are just wonderfully maniacal.
Yes? What? Hello? Flowers for Mrs. Gaggentoft.
Some could say that a good explosive specialist shouldn't have to resort to blowing themselves up, but the way I see it, the Goblin Techies are just that devoted. They just have this wonderful sense of having accepted their fate. But, once again, as much as I like the Techies, there's a League of Legends character that I like even more.
They're gonna be next, aren't they? Sorry.
And here he is,
call it.
Ziggs, the explosives expert. Not only is Ziggs more balanced than the Goblin Techies of yore, he's also a much more charismatic nut job. So what's his story? Well, Ziggs is a Yordle, which is a race of short, often furry creatures that live alongside mankind in Runeterra. The Yordles hail from Bandle City, but also have a university in Piltover where the smartest Yordles make inventions for all of Valoran. Ziggs wanted to become one such inventor, but everything he made blew up in his face. After saving some professors from a Zaunite invasion, he discovered that his failed experiments were actually his magnum opus. He was given the title Dean of Demolitions and sent to represent the university in the League alongside the likes of Heimerdinger and Corki. Ziggs is a very technical offensive mage. His passive Short Fuse makes his next basic attack do bonus damage every 12 seconds, though that interval lowers the more spells he casts, meaning that his damage output grows exponentially the more bombs he throws. Bouncing Bomb has a very unique targeting system in that it keeps rolling after it lands. The satchel charge can be laid down and detonated with precise timing. When it explodes, it also knocks enemies, even Ziggs, away. This combined with Explosive's Minefield, which damages and slows opponents who walk through it, makes Ziggs very good at escaping danger. He may not be a kamikaze like the Goblins, but he's willing to blow himself up as a way of quicker transport. His ultimate, Mega Inferno Bomb, is a long-range nuke with a huge blast radius that deals tons of damage. Perfect for picking off escaping enemies or stealing Baron Nasir from the opposing team. Once again though, what wins over these League characters is the amount of effort that went into their personalities. Ziggs has to be the most deranged, and by extension funniest, champion in the game.
I like my enemies like I like my bombs. About to explode!
Ziggs is a hilarious AP carry with a lot of damage potential, and I have a little rule about fighting against him. If you're in a team fight, take out Ziggs first, or be killed and laughed at.
Pretty much. Always take out the bomber. Before?
Number 4 is probably going to be the most obscure character I'm going to talk about here. There
This
are a
sounds good.
lot of great Pokemon who use moves like Self-Destruct and Explosion, like Electrode and Drifblim. And in competitive Pokemon tournaments, some gamers have invented teams entirely based around that one move. It sacrifices the Pokemon using it, sure, but it deals a heck of a lot of damage in return. Well, at least it used to before it got nerfed in Generation 5.
Ooh.
Before that, though, it was especially effective in double battles when they came out in Generation 3. Explosion would hit all other Pokemon, including the Pokemon's partner. However, if the partner had high defenses, used Protect, or was an explosion-proof ghost type, that problem was averted and you could reliably pick off 2 enemy Pokemon for the price of 1.
Damn.
But we're here to look at characters, not just a trend. Our
Okay,
search
what do you
brings
got?
us to Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for the GameCube, a sequel to Pokemon Colosseum, and, like its predecessor, a sadly underrated game. In Pokemon
Heard of it.
XD,
I'm
there
not
is an
there.
optional challenge to climb Mount Battle, a gauntlet of 100 double
So,
battles,
who's the
though your
bomber?
Pokemon are healed before each one. After
you.
hours of struggle, you come to level 89, Super Trainer Nimblis. She has no
Nimblis?
personality, no
Really?
defining features, and there is nothing special about her except that
the
all of her
Pineco. Oh,
Pokemon know
Pineco.
Explosion, and she will own your face if you aren't ready for her. Her Pokemon are level 63 and up, and include Nosepass, Sudowoodo, Pineco, Weezing, Graveler, and Seedot. Yeah, that's right, she will destroy you with a freaking Seedot!
Acorn.
These living payloads are also equipped with the move Protect, which deflects all damage from them in a turn. Nimblis spends each round commanding one Pokemon to shield itself and the other to burst into flames. It's not the most well thought out explosion tactic, since with one ghost type on your team, you can simply sit there and wait for her to finish detonating her pets, but this was the first
Sounds
time
about
I ever
right.
saw this strategy. For an in-game NPC, that's some pretty advanced strategy, and when I came into this fight
No kidding.
unprepared and had to do the previous 88 battles all over again, well, I wasn't happy. It's a shame that
pissed too.
Explosion lost so much attack power in Black and White, but if it means Nimblis is out of business, that's fine with me. And what is a super trainer anyway? I don't think it's very super forcing woodland creatures to kill themselves. Man, good thing N wasn't around for this, he'd have had a field day with this chick.
No kidding. Maybe that's why they wanted to lower the, explosion ability, because, let's be real, you have an evil team based about, freeing Pokemon, and, well, you know that some of them could just, boom? Yeah, I'm not gonna be a good way to make the evil team, aka Plasma, seem like a bad guy, because, well, if trainers will be willing to do that, yeah, not that evil. Now are they? Oof. Honestly, makes sense. I mean, I guess they didn't want, trainers just be like, okay, Explosion's way too powerful, and I don't think it looks good that they're willing to blow up their own Pokemon just to win the fight. Which, fair enough. I don't think I want my, players doing that. But if you want to each their own. Moving along. Who's next? Number 3? Surprised Demoman
I
ain't
have
here.
to be honest, I had a spot ready for the Poppy Brothers on this list from the Kirby series, mainly so I could use this clip.
Who you think you are?
Poppy Bros!
But then I remembered Holly Summers, the 6th
Oh, hi,
ranked
Holly.
assassin in No More Heroes. I can see how I nearly passed her
What's her
by
story?
too, since she is usually holding her melee weapon, a shovel. But not only is Holly a bomber with the best of them, she is one of the more tactical entries on this list. Travis goes after her at the Santa Destroy Beach. First of all, the path there is dotted with landmines buried in the sand. I can't imagine how many number 7s Holly's killed before even meeting them. When Travis finally meets the Swedish assassin, she keeps a level head and uses her arsenal and battlefield to her advantage. The first thing you might notice is her prosthetic leg. Well, you might notice her lack of clothing first, but then the leg. Not only can she still outrun Travis with that thing, it's equipped to send out a barrage of miniature missiles. Holly also keeps a bunch of grenades in her belt. Her chief tactic is to wait for Travis to fall into one of her hidden pitfalls and then throw grenades in while Travis scrambles out. She nearly takes out Travis right at the beginning with this, but luckily Mr. Touchdown has protagonist armor. When Travis does get in close, she can fend him off with her trusty shovel or some knives. My personal favorite move of hers is an odd one. She drops a grenade on the ground and stabs it with her spade, using the ensuing blast to backflip. The ending to this fight is also oddly touching. Like with Shinobu, Travis is unable to kill a woman, so Holly goes to an interesting extreme and, well, swallows her pride. This, I believe, is the moment where No More Heroes goes from being a fun, quirky kill fest to something a little bit more significant. Travis starts actually developing some depth here, and you'll notice that he never has trouble killing women in this game again. With brains and bombs, Holly keeps a leg up on the competition.
And change Travis for something else. Number 2. And we made him.
Thus begins my 1,000-year reign!
Freedom!
I'm pretty sure you all were expecting the Demo Man to drop in.
Yep.
He's crazy, he's funny, and he's great at what he does. But what exactly makes him a good Demo Man?
If I were a bad Demo
Man, I wouldn't be here
discussing it with you now, would I?
Okay, I got you. Just calm down, alright? The Demo Man is an
the
incredibly
pipe
versatile
grenades
class.
and the sticky grenades.
His weapons are not pinpoint accurate, but considering that they all explode, this is hardly ever a problem. Traditionally, the Demo Man comes with a grenade launcher and a sticky bomb launcher. The former can be fired directly for maximum damage, or let to bounce around and hit its targets indirectly. If a pesky engineer has a turret up that you can't seem to get past, Demo Man is your guy. He'll bounce some ballistics around the corner and make quick work of it without ever coming into its line of sight. The sticky bomb launcher is also loads of fun. Just lay some down on the floor or stick them to the walls and doorways, then wait for the unsuspecting scouts and soldiers to walk through and be reduced to tomato-colored rain. It's also a perfect way to protect
just get launched in the air,
intelligence
depending
or
on the player.
control points, making Demo Man credit the team no matter what the game is. Experienced Demo Man can even use their detonations to sticky jump to otherwise inaccessible areas, at the price of some injury to the hindquarters. Should the opposing team weave around the death traps and make it to him, well, the joke's on them. The Demo Man is one of the most deadly melee classes in the game. It's even completely viable to use him as a demo knight with the Islander and the Charge and Targe. My personal favorite is the Ullapool Caber, a bomb on a stick that sends both you and your victim sky high. Sure, he's got a drinking problem, and sure, he's the only Black Scottish Cyclops you're likely to see, but he's one of the best at taking things apart and having fun while doing it.
Oh man, they're gonna have to glue you back together in here! Gotta love that line. Gonna have to glue you back together in hell.
We're revealing the #1 greatest bombardier, but before we get there, let's recap.
Let's see. Recap.
Number 10, Link.
Link.
Number 9, Wheatley.
Wheatley.
Number 8, Fat Man.
Fat Man.
Number 7, Admiral Bobbery. Number 6, the Goblin Techies. Number 5, Ziggs, the Explosives Expert. Number 4, Super Trainer Nimbless. Number 3, Holly Summers. And number 2,
the Demo Man. What is number 1? Who tops the Demo Man? It's in his name, so who tops it?
He goes by many names. Shirabon, Bomber John, Cheery White, Dynablaster.
Oh, Bomber Man. Okay, that makes sense.
Bomber Man. He may not be in the limelight anymore, but he's got over 70 games under his little black belt. He's even gone through multiple backstories, originally envisioned as a demolition robot fighting for his freedom, but evolved into an intergalactic defender
that would be the
and
remake,
savior
not
of Planet
here.
Bomber. Sometimes he's called the White Bomber to distinguish himself from his rival Black Bomber and his multicolored kin. He can produce an endless supply of bombs from his hands that vary in size and type. Rubber bombs, remote bombs, power bombs, electric bombs, water and ice bombs, wind bombs, mines, dynamite, bomber jetpacks,
You name it,
sleds,
he's got the
and
bomb for it.
helicopters. He's even done battle with the evil mastermind Bagura, the Higgy Bandits, and the elusive Regulus. He also utilizes magical animals like Charabombs for more explosive abilities, jumping off of his bombs, leaving them in lines, and so much more. He even once pursued the dastardly Mujo through Dream Mix TV World Fighters, in which he fought the likes of Master Higgins, Simon Belmont, and Optimus Prime. He's planted explosives on every major video game console, handheld, and tablet in history. He's had 3 different TV shows. He's made cameos in Wario games. He has enough raw force to eradicate planets. Blowing stuff up since 1983, Bomberman is cool, cute, and the only character deserving of being named the #1 greatest Bombardier in gaming history. I'm the Green Scorpion. See you guys next time.
Yep. Well, if you ever need anything blown up, just call Bomberman or the Demo Man. He'll get that job done in one shot. And we forgot about him. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your favorite. And until next time, like, subscribe for more. See ya.